Sean, how you doing? Wait one second, I turn that off. I was just sitting here jamming to Only in Dreams. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Hope you're having a good vacation, and hopefully you're finding some guitar shops out there to kind of check out. And I know there's a couple more well-known. Cowtown Guitars is out there in Vegas. Hopefully you had a chance to go and check out some of that stuff, and hopefully come back with some new gear if you on the carry on. So cool, man. So I have a couple things planned for the lesson today. I'm just gonna go down the list. You should have that PD or the photo or PDF that I'll send over to you. Just follow along, and we'll just go from there. If you have any questions about anything after the lesson, feel free to shoot me a message, and I don't mind at all. It just takes me a second to reply back and clear things up. So cool, man. Let's start from the beginning. So the first thing I want to talk about today is box 1, minor pentatonic. We talked a little bit about it last time. So far we've done box 2, box 5, and now we're going to come up to box 1. We rated box 1 a long time ago, and then so we're going to bring that back. So box 1 is what I call kind of like the go-to scale, or Old Faithful, because anybody who plays guitar comes to me, if I ask them to do a minor pentatonic scale, this is typically the scale that they know. So like a lot of guitar players, B.B. King made a career out of this box. So it's a super useful one to know. And then I'll show you how it all kind of like fits together. So first thing we do is just play it. This E minor pentatonic, box 1, it's root 6, man, so which means that the E right here at the 12th fret, you know your 6th string open, you've been so diligent on knowing your notes. If your 6th string opens E, at the 12th fret, it all duplicates over again. So we're gonna play it up here so it's cooler to play, rather than down here in open position, which is less cool to play. So anyway, here we have 12, our E minor pentatonic, 12, 15, 12, 14, 12, 14, 12, 14, 12, 15, 12, 15. As you probably found out, I assumed that you were in E flat tuning, so I went ahead into my guitar in E flat. That way, Only in Dreams will sound appropriate rather than sounding too high in pitch. Cool. So, that scale 12, 15, 12, 14, 12, 14, 12, 14, 12, 15, 12, 15. So run up and down that, memorize that, same thing you did. Actually, I find this one, of the ones to memorize, this one's probably the easiest because there's like less like moving around. It's all kind of like in a straight line. Everything is 12. So if I zoom in here, you know, the first finger doesn't ever deviate. It's not like box 2 where there's a stretch in there, or say box 5. In my boxes. So it's not like those boxes where the first finger is moving around a whole lot. This one's just right down the line on that 12th fret. Cool. So that is box 1, E minor pentatonic. The chord, now remember I said that every minor pentatonic box has a corresponding relative major chord. So E minor's relative major is G major. G major's relative minor is E minor, right? That circle of fifths. Start trying to memorize it, trying to remember that E minor and G major kind of go together. So you want to start getting that circle of fifths down. Anyway, so back to box 1. Now you're gonna be like, you know, so E minor's relative major is G major. The form that goes with box 1 is G form. You know this from open position chord down here. Remember, you've been so good on doing your C form, A, G, E, and D. This G form, there's G form right there. I've written it in a different way that'll be more useful for transposing or moving around the neck. So I have right here 3, 2, and 4. So this is a different way of fingering the chords. Some people even play it this way, and there's advantages to knowing this version of the fingering versus playing it the other way, which is like more advantageous for like say like you're playing like the Pink Floyd kind of stuff. Or Only in Dreams, Only in Dreams. Right, so like that right there. It's better to play this G than to play this one because it just doesn't sound. That's just not what Rivers Cuomo did. But this G though has its own uses and own situations where you want to play this one instead. So I'll show you real quick. So it goes 3rd finger on 6. 2 on 5, and then pinky on 4 down here. It was a bit of a stretch for these 2 fingers right there. But this one's useful because if you're switching from like a plain C chord into a G chord, that sounds familiar. That's something I think. But anyway, so if you play G that way and you practice it, even though it's a harder fingering, it'll be easier to transition to to the C chord when you get that fingering under your fingers. So anyway, so G form G chord. This is usually where I kind of play like a trick question on students. It's like, what's the G form G chord? Or play G chord using G form, and it's literally like G form G chord. It's this. That's what it is. So you're gonna be, well, that's cool, but how do I use it up here? And so box 1, the scale we just E minor pentatonic, you can literally just play a G chord up here, or you can play it down here. So you take this chord, and remember this dot right here. This dot right here, this on fret 1, 2, 3, this dot is the same dot up here. So like this dot here and this dot here, they're the same notes, just up an octave. So when you play a G chord here, you can play a G chord up there. It just sounds an octave higher, and it sounds okay. So what you do is it's a bit tight of a squeeze in there. It's kind of funny because the G chord makes a nice little ending in the tunes if you're doing it that way. Cool. So you have your G form there in your chord, or your scale, and then your chord. So the E minor pentatonic box 1, and remember how you play a G chord down here, right? Third finger's on that dot right there. You just move that second finger all the way up here to this dot up here, the same corresponding dot. You play that chord there. Same way that you play your box 2, right? And you play box 5. Right? Cool. And we'll talk about that in a second. So start that pentatonic box 1 and then the G form G chord. Remember, it's kind of like a trick question that like the G form G chord is literally just like a G chord. The same way that same way that an E form E chord is that right there. A form A chord is that right there. That's what it is. Cool. So work on that. Next thing I want you to do is number 2 here. I want you to play box E minor pentatonic, box 5, box 1, and box 2. Let me show you what I mean. So, right, you know this, box 5, right? E minor pentatonic. Right? Nothing new. That we've already learned that. You've been playing that for a few months now, I think. Right? And then the scale we just did. Box 1, the one we just did. And then box 2, remember how I said that dot down here, this dot right here is the same right here. You can play the same stuff here, up here, and it sounds cooler. Jimi Hendrix sounds great down here. But also, it's up cooler, right? So you want to play that same box 2, right? I'm not changing anything at all. The only thing I'm changing is like this dot is now this dot. The fingers are the same. It's the same scale. You can play both. They're interchangeable. You don't need like special permission slip to move this stuff up here. You don't need my permission. I asked my teacher when I was first figuring this out that, oh my God, wait, this is the same thing up here. And I was like, is it okay to do that? And he's like, yeah. You know, I'm not the music police. You just play it up here. So we're going to play box 2 up here at the 15th fret where you have that first dot after the double dot. Right? It's the same thing down here. All right. Here's what I want you to kind of look at, is notice how they connect to one another. Remember I said before that E minor pentatonic box 1 is here, right? If you notice here, they're all at the 12th fret. That's what the first finger doesn't move anywhere beyond that. Check this out. If I do box 5, 12th fret right there. Hey, look, 12th fret right there. Hey, 12th fret right there again, man. See if it keeps on going. It's the same thing, man. 12th fret. See? 12th fret. 12th fret. Third finger in that box 5. See right there? It all is on that 12th fret. Check this out. It connects to box 1. Hey, look, 12th fret. Hey, look, it's 12th fret. Hey, oh, it's 12th fret again. 12th fret again. Starts on 12th fret again. Starts on 12th fret again. If you notice, where one ends, the other one begins. I think I remember. I think when we first started talking about this, you like went online and like look at some charts about like the pentatonic boxes, and you got like overwhelmed, which is easy to do with this stuff. You move slow through this material. You saw like a big fretboard chart with all the dots of the E minor pentatonic. It's like, whoa, it's a sea of dots coming at you. What you're seeing there is like how the boxes all connect like Lego pieces. Like, so this box here, where it ends, the next one begins. So when you play box 5, all like the third finger stuff, that connects to the next box, and it just links together. Right? And if you look at box 2, or sorry, box 2. If you look at box 2 here, it's 15th fret right here. Well, look at that, right? 15th fret. Box 1 ends where box 2 begins. 12, 14, wait a minute, 12, 14, hey, wait a minute, that's where box 2, the first finger goes. Same thing down the string. So on box 2, it all connects to box 1, the same way that box 5 connected to box 1. I know that's a big thing, right? In terms of implications across the neck, and it might take us a few lessons to kind of really wrap our heads around how all this connects together, and for you to see it too on the fretboard, depending on how much time you have to practice and devote to this. But and don't feel like you have to get all this today. I'm just introducing the concept that they all connect together. And what I've noticed when students do this, when they see how it connects, all of a sudden they can move stuff around and not stuck in E minor all the time. Right? This is like the thing that like it takes some time to kind of wrap your head around. But once you do, it really opens things up. You're able to play it in different keys and not stuck in one place on the fretboard. But like I said before, take it one step at a time. We're gonna do box 5, box 1, and box 2. We're gonna learn how they connect together. Because, like I said, I think I was telling you or somebody else before that, like say Pink Floyd, David Gilmour on Dark Side of the Moon. He literally plays, like the solos are literally box 5, 1, and 2 just connected together. So if you get this down, this is like a big thing in terms of being able to be mobile across the neck. Because I remember that you were curious about moving this way across the neck. This is how you do it. Is that, and I know this is a bit more than probably what we covered today, or I want you to do for this week, but I'll just to show you what it eventually will be. I'm in box 5 here. I shift in because they connect together. I shift into box 1 and I shift into box 2. So there I was just drifting between box 5, box 1, and box 2. That's a lot. That takes a lot of practice. Just see how they connect together this week. Just see how the visualization, how this one, the box 5, connects to box 1, connects to box 2, and how they share common connectors. Like say at the end of box 5, the end of box 5 on this fret is the beginnings of box 1. Like I said, say it again, is that don't feel you have to soak all this in right now. We're just starting this process. It's gonna take some time. Just do, get box 1 down, we'll connect the other 2. All right, cool, man. So like I said, any questions about that, you let me know. And then you wanna practice the boxes. Do get back into those sequences if you haven't done so already, making sure you just go up like box 5. Do some sequence work with those. But ideally, get the box 1 down. If you get bored with that, do some sequence work with it. Cool. All right, next thing I want you to do, sorry I'm watching the clock, it took a little bit longer to write this out, so I'll probably have to do Haley's lesson and come back and finish on the back half of the lesson. So cool. So review. So number 3 is I want you to review A form and E form chords. Remember your E form chord and your A form chord. Make an E form E form E chord, and then an A form A chord. Right. So say your G major using E form, right? A form using playing a G chord using A form, right? This way or this way. So G form E chord, A form G chord. And then what you should do is learn both of them in both G and C. So even though you're using an E form and an A form, I want you to play them in G and C. So see here, root 6 E form chord. It's a G chord because we're on the 3rd fret. That note right there on the 6th string is G. You find your C. Right? So G chord using E form. C chord, because this is root 6, that's a C right there. That makes this a C. It sounds like a C chord, even though you're using the template of E. Then take your A chord, play your G chord using A form, then your C chord using A form. It's a C chord, but it's an A form because it's using this template to play. So you can play G to C, C to G. Sorry, G. That doesn't make sense. Let's do that one more time. So G, E form. It's a root 6 to C chord. A form's a root 5. It can't be a root 6, otherwise it wouldn't be A form. So C chord. That's a C right there on root 5. Using A form because that note is a C. If I play that same chord on the G right here, it's a G chord. If I play the same chord, the same shape on the C, it is a C chord. So G chord, C chord, and then a C chord, and then a G chord right here. So I want you to review your A form and your E form. Remember, E form is root 6, A form is root 5. You're moving the template around. See if you can find, with both forms, a C chord and a G chord. So, C chord using A form, G chord using A form, G chord using E form, C chord using E form. Practice that, okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause right now. I'm going to do Haley's lesson, and I'm going to come back and then finish out Only in Dreams. So I'll be back momentarily. For you, though, it will seem instantaneous. But for me, a half hour will pass. So anyway, I'll see you in a few minutes.